Hey all, this is Jonathan Wynn, and today I'll be going over prompt testing. As you know, when it comes to prompt testing, it can be time consuming, especially when testing it manually. There are many different LLMs. We have Mistral, we have Llama 3, we have Grok, you name it. We have so many of them to test. That being said, there is a open source tool called PromptFoo, which would automate testing for all these prompts. And so today I want to go over how that would look like. So in here, I have a config file in a YAML format, and I have Mistral, medium to latest, and small, along with Grok Gemma, excuse me. And then specifically, my team and I, we built a assisted living app that targets towards older adults. And there are questions that we want to ask, specifically in regards of their frequent mental distress, those who are reported having five or fewer teeth due to decay or gum disease, reported subjective cognitive decline, so on and so forth. So I'm going to demonstrate with four separate questions and three separate models. How would that look like in an automated testing? So here, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. And as best practice, we are going to do it without any cache. And get out. So with a simple command, I'm able to kick off the automated testing with these specific questions. So mind you, with these questions, you can fine tune them depending on the output. You can put as many providers or models that you would like, everything from Llama 3 to Grok. The sky's the limit. The one thing I would note though is that depending on the performance of your machine, it can run fast or slow. If you come across these issues of running this on your machine, but it ends up being too slow, you can always run it in the cloud. But of course, that costs money. So just like any good engineer, I would invest in a good machine if your budget allows it. So here, as it's kicking off, you can see that you have Mistral, you have Grok, they're all kicking off, and you see the percentage of completion right there. And there's four threads going off at the same time. Bada bing, bada boom. Now it's completed. I would arguably say that was probably less than 40 seconds. So here you get to see all the tokens that was run, prompt tokens, completion tokens, obviously cache tokens is zero. And then you have all the test cases right here that shows pass and the outputs right here. But as like with anybody else, you want something more user-friendly. What we can do is put in this command, and we can see it on our browser. Ta-da! Here, we're able to see each model and each question that's associated with it. As we go through each one, take note of the total cost, the tokens, and the latency. So for Mistral Medium latest, I see that 7 cents was was the cost to run this, about 1,000 tokens, and average token is 257. Latency is 4 milliseconds. The next one you see 36 cents, 622 tokens, latency 17,000, so on and so forth, right? So you start to see the numbers for each model. And this is where it's really important to run without any cache because you want to get a baseline of how much tokens and the latency that you're going to get. Here, for these questions, you see, you go into each specific question right here, you're going to see a pattern Here I see Mistral, 176 tokens right here. This 130. And this one's a whopping, or actually, this is 162, but you can see the latency for each different ones. And this one right here is about 61 milliseconds and 172 for tokens, 538. So what I see is 239 milliseconds and then 103. So Growth Gemma is by far one of the better models right here. But you got to keep in mind of your use case, right? Are you going for low amount of tokens, lower latency, right? Because there are trade-offs. The more tokens that are used, you get a longer response. However, that's going to increase the usage. So if there is a threshold, let's say for ChatGPT, you're going to run the cost up. And then you have to keep in mind your budget constraints. Latency, if you, let's say a customer is expecting a response, you want to return the output as fast as you can. However, that could potentially mean more tokens, right? Depending on the prompt. So here, for this question, 103 tokens is the one is the least amount out of all of these models. And then for latency, 239, which is actually not too bad. So this by far is the best. And I will show you the difference between this one right here and one that has a lot more tokens used. So here, you'll see the outputs right here. This is the amount of tokens that would be used. And let's say if I pick 176 tokens, it's by far the most. And here you see the response is much longer. But there you have it. Automated testing for LLM prompts. Again, this is just a showcase of what this tool can do. In the next series, I plan to show how you can use PromptFoo with custom data sets. Specifically for us, we built a assisted living app called Caregiving, and by using the custom data set that we have right here for healthy aging, if a user wants to enter a prompt as what's the average age for someone who has dementia, and it should output based on the data set that we have. So stay tuned.